Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to talk about installing cruise control in Toyota Yaris. The same car is offered as Toyota Vios in Malaysia. So the installation that we do in Toyota Yaris 2021 will also be applicable for Toyota Vios as well. Today I'm not going to do the actual work or installing any of the component or removing any of the components from the dashboard. Today I'm simply going to give you a summary of what you would need for installing cruise control in your car, and also give you a description of what we are expected to do during the installation process, so that you know beforehand what we are getting into. So let's begin with a description of what we would need, the things that are required. The first one, as you would know, is this cruise control stick. I ordered it from the Raz. I will give you a link in the description so that you could buy from either the same seller or find something similar. So it comes with this wire as well, the cruise control stick along with this wire. You can easily detach it from here by pressing this. So one of the end is fitted into the cruise stick, and the other one would be fitted somewhere in the steering wheel. I will show you the location. So these are the components that are required, number one. And then the same package will have, make sure that the same package also offers this cover. So you would have the cruise control installed after you attach this cover. The cruise control stick will go through this cover. In addition, you would also need these two screws so that you can screw this on top of the steering wheel just below the airbag. So these are the two important components that you would need. Secondly, you would also need this wire. This is around 1 feet wire, not very long. This would be used to ground one of the wire of the cruise stick. So as you can see, one of the end has a pin and the other one has a ring connector. So the ring connector would be used to ground this wire. So the component or the grip connector is somewhere below the steering wheel. I will show you the location. You will put this pin in the connector and you will attach this as a ground to the vehicle body. So this is important wire that you should get from the Raz. Also, you can also use any other wire, but I would recommend this because it is properly pinned at this end and also properly have a ring connector. Otherwise you will have a very hard time finding this pin and attaching it to the connector inside the steering wheel. So very important. In addition, you will also have a wire very similar to this, but it will be approximately the length of your dashboard. That wire will have this pin on both sides. So you will also have in this package, when you buy this, you will have this wire along with another wire which is much more in length, and it will have these two pins on both sides. So one of the pin would be placed in the grip or connector below the steering wheel, and the other one would go to the ECU, which is near the glove box. So as you can see, you need to connect these wires at certain places, some below the steering wheel and some in the location near the glove box. So these are the components you would also need to remove before you can attach these wires or insert these wires into the connectors. So this is the wire that you would need, along with another wire of larger length, which will have two pins on each side. I will show you when I have already attached one part of it to the ECU, but I will show you how this is connected, and you will understand how it works. In addition, you would need two screwdrivers. One screwdriver which you can see, this one is called PH2 screwdriver. Make sure that you have sufficient length so that you can have more leverage and easily use it to remove remove the screws that are away from you. So important to have PH2 screwdriver. This screwdriver is the main instrument, or the main tool that you would need in order to remove the screws that are attached nearby the steering wheel. Very important to do the job. Don't use any other screwdriver. Make sure you have the PH2 type screwdriver with sufficient length. If you use something different, what you would do, you might be able to do the job. You might be able to remove the screws, but you will damage the screws and the head of the screws, which is never recommended. Always use the proper tools. Make sure you have the proper tools beforehand, and then start working on the job. The second one, I could use this one to remove the airbag, but this is not recommended because it has a different shaped tip. What I would need for removing the airbag would be this type of screwdriver. The more length the better, and also this one is called a slotted screwdriver because it goes into a slot in the screw. These type of screwdrivers are known as slotted screwdriver. So if you want to remove the airbag, you should have a screwdriver of sufficient length, and it should be of the slotted type. And this will make work very easy for you, and this will make work very difficult for you for removing the airbag. So in order to remove the screws, you need this screwdriver, and in order to remove the airbag, you need this type of screwdriver. Both these are very important for this job. Also, you would need a wrench or a spanner, whatever you want to call it. I'm feeling I would need a 10 because most of the nut bolts inside for the ground are usually of this size, but we will see. I can have an adjustable wrench just in case. So these are required. You may require only one of this, but I have taken two just to be on the safe side. Okay. Here these are much smaller in size screwdrivers. Usually you see it with those working with mobile phones, or those who work with the very small screws. You would need preferably the smallest one, this one. This one you would require because you need to remove or install wire into the connector. The pin of the wire will be inserted into connectors. So in order to open the lock of the connector, you will need something sturdy, small but very sturdy. So you need to push the lock out for the connector, and then add the wire, and then lock it again. So this is very important. If you don't have this, make sure you buy. It won't cost you much, around 150-200 rupees in the market, but this is very important, and it will serve your purpose for the rest of your life. So it is very important to have these. It comes in a package of 5 for 10, I think. So you should go and buy this beforehand, before starting work, before working on the cruise control installation part. Very important. And last but not the least, you would need a good torch, because some of the areas where you connect the wires and remove the panels are hard to reach places with no light. So you would need this to see the connectors as well as the hinges of various panels. So it is very important to have a torch, good quality torch, to serve the purpose. Now that we have understood what are the things that are required in order to install cruise control, I will give you a summary of what we would need to do in order to successfully complete this project. The first thing that you would need is to remove the areas, remove the parts in the panel and the steering wheel in order to access the locations where you need to install the cruise control, as well as the wiring for the cruise control stick. So the first one, the first part which we would remove from the steering wheel is the airbag. we will be using a slotted screwdriver to pop open the airbag. Before we even start working on the airbag, we would remove the battery connection so that we are safe, just in case. Whenever you work with the electricals and are not very sure, or you work with the removing airbag, you should remove the battery to be on the safe side. So the first step actually is to remove the terminal, positive terminal of the battery, so that you are safe in case of any problem that may arise. So the second step would be to actually go and remove the airbag. I will show you how to do it. Once you remove the airbag, you would have the spot, you will see the spots where you would install the cruise control, and also where this wire would be connected. You would know where to install this or connect it with screws, and you would also see where to connect this part of the wire. Then you would need to, but we won't do that in the first step. We can do it later. Then we would remove the steering wheel shroud. Steering wheel shroud is the part of the steering wheel that is just below the steering wheel. So you would remove the shroud. You would also remove the knee panels so that you see properly how the wires will go in different places, because you need to move the wire from near the steering wheel to the ECU, which is near the glove box. So you would remove the airbag, you would remove the steering shroud, you would remove the knee panels. There are two knee panels, one is colored beige and the other one is black, so you would have to remove those as well. I will show you step by step of how to remove this so that you do not break any of their hinges. It is very important to do it properly, otherwise there is a danger of breaking the connectors or hinges of these plastic material in the dashboard. So very important to follow the instructions and do it properly. The final part that you would remove, you could do it actually in the beginning as well, is to remove the glove box. When you remove the glove box, you would see the computer or the ECU of the car. So I would show you the location where one of the pin would be connected in the ECU connector. So these are this is the summary of the steps that you would need to do. You would also need some ties, the white or black ones that we usually see commonly in the market, in order to have proper routing of the wire. So you would need white or black tie clips, I think you call it ties. You would need that to have proper and good looking wiring of the cruise control.